So good morning all. I am Malar Chala Sivalingam, a PhD student in the engineering department, and my supervisor is Professor Ashwin Seshia. So if you were there for the Cape February event, you will know already what this presentation is going to be about. Today I'm going to talk about the continuation of my previous presentation, which is the mastery of microchip technology to tackle air pollution part 1, and this is part 2. So let me give a quick recap of my previous presentation. So this project is about using MEMS sensors to sense ultrafine particles that are less than 100 nanometers in diameter. So why do we need to sense these ultrafine particles? Because ultrafine particles are accountable for affecting human health by causing respiratory and cardiovascular diseases. There are also other MEMS sensors that exist for sensing the ultrafine particles, and these sensors function on different actuation and transduction principles. Regardless of the actuation and transduction mechanism in these sensors are based on the resonant frequency shift. So depending on the mass of the nanoparticles that get onto the surface of these sensors, their resonant frequency change. By noting the frequency change, we will get to know the actual mass of the nanoparticles. So in this one, we should note that the resonant frequency changes not only because of the mass, but also because of temperature. So to account for cancelling the resonant frequency shift due to temperature, my previous work was about designing a type of MEMS sensor that provides higher sensitivity to ultrafine particles. At the same time, it also cancels the effects due to temperature. My previous experiments used a MEMS resonator, which I designed based on the principle of vibration mode localization. You can see a MEMS chip at the top, fabricated based on piezo MEMS process. Previous design of coupled MEMS resonators worked on the principle that if two resonators are identical, then energy will be equally distributed between the two. If we try to create or alter the identical condition of the resonator by introducing mass in one of the resonators, then this vibration energy will be confined to one of the resonators instead of getting equally divided between the two. So this is called the vibration energy confinement, and to monitor this vibration energy confinement, we need to consider the ratio of amplitude of vibration between the two resonators instead of considering the resonant frequency shift. So this means that by adding mass on one of the resonators, we can monitor the amplitude ratio as the output signal, which will indicate the quantity of mass added. The other advantage with these resonators is that since we are taking amplitude outputs from both the resonator, if one resonator gets affected by temperature, the other resonator signal will also get affected by temperature to the same extent. So when we take the ratio of amplitudes as the output, this temperature effect can be cancelled. In these type of coupled MEMS resonators, usually there will be two resonant modes because there are two resonators involved. So one resonant mode will indicate the out of phase displacement of the two resonators, and the other mode will indicate the in phase movement of the two resonators. So you can see it in this simulation, for example. So here, this is the first resonator, and the next resonator is shown adjacent to it. So this is also a square-shaped resonator. So for the first resonator, if two sides tend to contract, the other two sides tend to extend. For the second resonator, this will be the exact opposite to that of the first resonator. That's why we call this as out-of-phase displacement of this coupled MEMS resonator. So the main condition to be satisfied for vibration energy confinement to occur in this coupled MEMS resonator is that the coupling between the two resonators should be weak. So we can design the coupling according to that criteria. Now the experiment. So with this previous design of MEMS resonators, diesel soot particles were generated in the lab environment and were deposited onto the two resonators for about 40 minutes. 40 minutes on the first resonator and 40 minutes on the second resonator. So this is to verify the sensitivity as well as the mass balancing capability. Sensitivity was higher when considering amplitude ratio as output instead of considering the resonant frequency shift as output. Similarly, the resonators returned to their initial state when particles were deposited onto both the resonators. So the resonators were also insensitive to temperature when amplitude ratio was considered as the output signal. So in the previous design of coupled MEMS resonators, we have seen improvement to mass sensitivity based on amplitude ratio as output, common mode rejection to temperature, and mass balancing technique for extending sensor lifetime. So what is the objective of this project? The objective is to see how far one could go down in size by utilizing the mass balancing techniques without compromising the other metrics of the resonator, such as high sensitivity, high stability, and common mode rejection to temperature. Taking all this into account, a new design was made for the coupled MEMS resonator. Now, if you recall what I explained about the previous design, you will realize that there will be two resonant peaks because of two resonators. And these two resonant peaks correspond to the movement of the resonators at out of phase and in phase. If the resonators are identical, these two resonant peaks will be in symmetrical condition. So at the symmetrical condition, the two resonant peaks in a single resonator will come close to each other but will not intersect with each other. When we add mass onto one of the resonators, so the condition becomes asymmetrical, which means the two resonant peaks in one of the coupled MEMS resonator starts to move apart from the other one. So there will be a distance which will be created between the two resonant peaks when mass is added onto one of the coupled MEMS resonators. So the other graph shows the amplitude ratio simulation. So this is for one of the resonant peaks. At the first resonant peak, for example, we can consider either the first resonant peak or the second resonant peak among the two resonant peaks. So if we consider one resonant peak, we are considering the amplitude of displacement of both the resonators and taking their ratio as the output. So this graph shows that for one of the resonant peaks, the amplitude ratio increases if the mass addition on resonator increases. So depending on the requirement, we can consider any of the two resonant peaks. And for the new design, the resonant peaks at around 5.5 megahertz are considered. So as I mentioned, there will be two resonant peaks and one peak is shown here. Since there are two resonators, you will get the same type of resonant peaks from the two resonators. Now we are considering the amplitude ratio as the output in these two resonant peaks. After determining the resonant peaks in the new coupled MEMS resonators and obtaining their amplitude ratio, the stability test was performed for this new design of coupled MEMS resonator. So this graph here shows the stability output for the coupled MEMS resonator based on Allen deviation. So this stability output is to see how the amplitude ratio output signal and frequency output signal deviates over time. By looking at these graphs, we can say that the frequency stability deteriorates over time, but the amplitude ratio stability deviates only at very small levels over time. So if we combine these two graphs together, it will become clear that the amplitude ratio output signal is suitable for long-term measurements than the resonant frequency shift output signal. And after determining the stability output in the new design of coupled MEMS resonator, the resonator's response to temperature was tested. So here, what we are seeing is the temperature was increased by 1 Kelvin and the frequency response for one of the resonator was recorded by varying the temperature. You can see that the frequency tends to decrease with increase in temperature. But if we look at the amplitude ratio graph, the amplitude ratio stays constant more or less for the same degree of increase in temperature. So this again confirms the common mode rejection to temperature in the new design of coupled MEMS resonators. Now, in order to verify the mass balancing capability, the resonators were subjected to 8 minutes of polystyrene latex nanoparticle deposition. So since these polystyrene latex nanoparticles are size calibrated, and since these new resonators, these are newly designed resonators, so initially the experiment started with polystyrene latex nanoparticles. So 8 minutes of deposition on the first resonator and 15 minutes of deposition on the second resonator was carried out. At the end of 15th minute of particle deposition on the second resonator, the amplitude ratio output returned to its initial state. So initially it was close to 1 and then it deviated and then it came back to the initial state. So far so good. So we have seen the stability output, the common mode rejection to temperature, and the mass balancing capability of the new design of coupled MEMS resonator. And now the sensitivity. The sensitivity of this new design of coupled MEMS resonators were plotted with respect to the polystyrene latex nanoparticles. The amplitude ratio sensitivity was higher compared to the resonant frequency shift-based sensitivity in the same device. Then the mass that got onto the surface of the resonators were calculated by combining the stability and the scale factor graphs. Here we should note that the mass resolution was higher compared to the previous design of the coupled MEMS resonators. Initial results from this experiment show that the mass resolution using this new design of coupled MEMS resonator has come close to the mass of a single virus. You can refer elsewhere about the mass of a single virus. Since this experiment confirmed higher mass resolution with the new design of coupled MEMS resonator, another experiment was attempted. So it is the Indo particle deposition experiment. So this time, instead of generating particles in the laboratory, Indo particles were impacted onto the surface of the coupled MEMS resonators without any size selection. So these Indo particles are the one which you can see in your rooms or offices or even in houses. So in this experiment, we wanted to see the response of the coupled MEMS resonators when indoor particles were collected onto the surface of the MEMS resonators in days and weeks. This is also to see what the lifetime of the new sensors would be. So with the first set of experiment, there is only small variations in the output signal when indoor particles were collected for about 1.5 hours or 2 hours. So then due to COVID-19 restrictions, running continuous experiments or collecting indoor particles continuously and monitoring the output signal for days and weeks have become cumbersome. So this is an ongoing work. The future work will focus on identifying the limitations or challenges associated with the MEMS resonators when obtaining particle measurements in days. Also, these particles are not size selected. So the other direction is to see the response of the coupled MEMS resonators without size selecting the indoor particles and impacting them directly onto the surface of the coupled MEMS resonator. Thank you for listening. So this is all about my research work in the second phase of this project. Please let me know if you have any questions or comments.
Thank you very much, Mala. This is a very exciting talk. And it's very nice to see you have put the MEMS simulation and practice all together and showed a very good result in the amplitude domain rather than the conventional phase shift. So the talk is open to questions. Any questions?
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Hello.
Yeah, Mala, can you go back to the graphs slide?
Which one is it?
Yeah, this one. Yeah, these. Could you please again explain what you saying?
With this graph?
Yeah, this one and the next slide.
Oh, this one and this one?
Yeah, right.
Okay, so there are two resonators over here.
Okay,
I'll go to this picture maybe. Yeah, this one. So there are two resonators over here. So most of the resonators that are used for this ultrafine particle detection are single resonator or the standalone resonator. So in that case, you'll observe the resonant frequency shift based on the mass of particle that is added onto the surface of one of the resonator or a single resonator. So in this case, it's a coupled resonator. So there are two resonators. So even if there are two resonators, we can consider both resonant frequency shift as the output and amplitude ratio shift as the output. So when I say amplitude ratio, what I'm meaning is, so we will observe what is the amplitude of displacement from one resonator and what is the amplitude of displacement from the other resonator. And then we'll calculate what is the ratio of the amplitudes.
right.
At the same time, we will also see what is the resonant frequency shift. So in this graph, you can see, so when we measure from the first resonator among the two coupled resonator, if we measure from the first resonator, the red graph shows there is one resonant peak. And then when we take measurement from the second resonator, the blue one shows there is another resonant peak. So these two resonant peaks will have different amplitudes. So when they are symmetrical in condition, the amplitudes should be equal because we are not creating any disturbances in these two resonators. So if we take amplitude ratio by considering the amplitude of first resonator and the amplitude of second resonator, that will come close to 1 without any perturbation in these coupled resonators. So what I'm doing in this experiment over here is observing the resonant frequency from one of the resonator. So with changing the temperature. So when I observe the resonant frequency, I was observing the resonant frequency in one of the resonator by changing the temperature by 1 Kelvin. So the resonant frequency was decreasing with increase in temperature. But when I considered the amplitude ratio as output, so this was close to 0.96. As I mentioned over here, there was the 2 resonant peaks from the 2 resonators. And when we consider the amplitude ratio, normally it should be close to 1. So with the change in temperature, what this amplitude ratio graph shows is that even when we tend to increase the temperature, if we consider amplitude ratio as the output signal, it stays more or less constant for a longer time duration instead of the resonant frequency, which keeps deviating over time. So that is a concept in these graphs.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Any other questions? Mala, I just have one small question. I'm curious, you showed the change of the frequency, and showed the change of the amplitude. Have you looked at the change of the resonant peak width?
That is the Q factor.
You build up the MEMS resonance structures and the coupled one, which is novel, very good. And you showed the change of the frequency or change of the amplitude due to your mass density on it, the particle density on it.
Yeah.
Whether there is a change of the resonance peak width as well.
So by resonant peak width, are you asking about the bandwidth?
Let's say the half width maximum, or in a log term, what's the width change?
Yeah, for this one, I didn't exactly calculate what was the change, but the initial Q factor was about 3000 during this 5.5 megahertz and this 3 dB bandwidth. So initially it was coming around close to 3000. I didn't exactly calculate after depositing particles onto these resonators.
I see. So the Q factor changes could be another indicator.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Okay, if no further questions, let's thank Mala again. Thank you very much, Mala.
Thank you.
Yeah, and now I think this is the end of this session. We are fortunately has 3 very different but very excellent talks and showing promising works. I hope they can continue, and I wish them all the success with their postgraduate study. And I would like also thank you for taking part in this session. Thank you very much.